Morning YouTube. I'm not going to be doing a review today, but instead I'm going to be giving you my top 10 favourite films that of all time. Now, I should point out that this is actually extremely difficult for me because I'm a big film fan and it took me ages to work out. Start, so here we go. My top 10 favourite films. In at number 10, we have Despicable Me. This is a nice little film to watch with kids. I personally like these little yellow guys, the minions, actually, sometimes more than the main character. Although I do like the part, if you've seen the film, where Gru attempts to park his car. A nice little film by Pixar. If I've got that wrong, okay, fair enough, I got it wrong. Um, like I said, nice little film to watch. Even if you just happen to fancy watching something different. In at number 9, we have Back to the Future 1, the first part, not 2 or 3. The first part was one of the original films that I saw when I was a kid, and it was just one of those films I could very happily rent over and over and over and over and over again. And then they brought it out on VHS, which I actually destroyed my copy because I watched it so many times. And then they brought it out on DVD and Blu-ray. I'm not buying the Blu-ray player, I don't see the point, although it's apparently so much better. The story of young Marty McFly going back in time by accident in a time travelling DeLorean made in Ireland, I should point out, the car. You can thank Top Gear for telling me that, and Patrick Kilty. This is a film that I watch usually when I'm not necessarily bored, or if I just happen to have a day off, I'll just stick this film on, or one of the ones that I'm about to show you. In at number 8, we have The Lawnmower Man. We don't talk about Lawnmower Man 2, it's part of a bad thing here. But the story revolves around Jeff Fahey being a young man who was born dumb, and Pierce Brosnan working for the shop, who is kind of like the CIA or FBI or NSA or whatever you like to call them, who believes that virtual reality can unlock humanity's potential. So he tries it on Job and turns him effectively into a god. Um, this is a film that is kind of awe-inspiring from Terminator 2. Apparently, it was made, well, it actually says even better than Terminator 2, written by the Sun. What does the Sun know? In at number 7, we have Titanic. Now, I am not going to lie. I cried the first time I saw this at the cinema. I was incomprehensible for about 45 minutes, but you may all sit there going, "Oh, it's a chick flick and everything." Well, tough. I like it. It's in my top 10. And if you have trouble with that, then take it up with your parents on this one because I am not accepting responsibility. But it's a very good film, and I'm a James Cameron fan. So there, I've said it. Now I can get that off my chest. In at number 6, we have Transformers the movie. Now, not like the new live version because that one was good, but after a while I was getting really fed up with Shia LaBeouf and Megan Fox, because if you know what happened in Transformers, why she wasn't in Transformers 3, I suggest you look it up. But this one is far superior to all three films. It's got a planet-sized transformer called Unicron. It's got a Optimus Prime getting killed. It's got Megatron having his ass handed to him and then effectively being killed. Then it's got a brand new Prime who is him, which I will not tell you the full details, but this film is far superior quality. Michael Bay, if you're watching this, you should have tried harder. In at number 5, we have Predator 1, starring Arnold Schwarzenegger, featuring his favourite line, Get to the chopper. I'm sorry, that's a poor impression, I apologise. This film, I personally think, is the best out of all of them. Don't even get me started on AVP, and definitely don't get me started on AVP Requiem, because we could be here for hours and YouTube only lets me do up to 15 minutes. This film is basically about an alien who comes down and kills people in the middle of the jungle. I really like it. It's one of those ones that you can just sit there and be like, I fancy what a bit of an 80s night. This is one of those films that must be on there, along with the Transformers cartoon. In at number 4, we have Fast and the Furious 1. I saw this film at the cinema and I loved it. I didn't really like number 2. Number 3, I was getting really irritated with the bloke, the main character. But number 4 kind of brought it back. I haven't seen number 5 yet, and my friend's going to let me that. And number 6 has only just come out of the cinema, so I will be watching that at some point. But if you think I can get away without having to watch number 5, then let me know in the comments box below. Now this is where it gets tricky, but in at number 3 we have Aliens, directed by James Cameron. This is one of my absolute favourite James Cameron films, along with obviously Titanic that's in there. You'll see why in a minute why this is actually very difficult. But I saw this at the cinema recently up in oh god, Prince Charles Cinema. They did the Alien Marathon, which one as well. I actually saw Gok Wan up on that day. He was in the cinema with us. Basically, the story about Ellen Ripley coming back and having to face the bitch from her past, and a few extra people. So, here's the reason why things get difficult. Okay, here's why it gets difficult, because in at number 2 is Terminator 2. Now, this film I wasn't originally allowed to watch as a kid, but one day I managed to get hold of a copy and I love it. It is phenomenally awesome. It's just a very simple. It's none of this stupid CGI stuff that it gets really overdone. It's actually physical pieces that are built, and obviously all the not train, the bit with the trailer, the truck, the helicopter being chasing after them. All that stuff was real. And especially the end fight against the T-1000. Yes, that was CGI, but it was CGI for a couple of seconds, a minute maximum for the very end scene. Now, here is where it gets really difficult. Okay, in at number 1, my absolute favourite is Terminator 1. Now, you can see why this is a bit difficult, because I'm a James Cameron fan, with the exception of Avatar. That was 3 hours of my life I'm not getting back. However, The Abyss is okay. Terminator 1 was directed by him. Terminator 2 was directed by him. Aliens was directed by him. Titanic is directed by him. Now, I think he's a very, very good director, and he does the story very well. So much so, I actually went and bought Terminator 1 and 2, the books, the adaptations. So if they're on my previous reviews. Now, you can see why, for someone like me, this would be very difficult to narrow down, but I spent ages sort of going through and deciding on the good and the bad points of it, and that is why I've come up with Terminator 1. Terminator 1 is my absolute favourite film. So, that is my top 10 favourite films. This, like I said, it took me the best part about 2 and a bit days, nearly 3, to actually come up with this list, because I've got so many films that I like. There are the good ones, and then there are the sort of really good ones, but these top are as you can imagine, my top 10, otherwise it'd be called my top whatever. If you have an idea of your 10 favorite films, please put it in the comments box below. I am going to be putting all the web links to Wikipedia for all the films, so if you haven't seen them and you're interested, by all means go ahead and watch them. Now, if I can give you any advice, it is that you should watch all these films on my top 10, and like I said, give me your opinion. If there's one there that you think I might have missed, or anything that you might recommend, because I always like watching films. So give me a bell or send me a message. Do what you like, but just write it in there, and have a good day. And I'll see you later. I'm going to do a review of the Ava series next. So see you later.